Greetings, hello everyone, and welcome to week 3, module 3. So let's look at what we're going to do, and this topic, of course, for this week is dealing with customers verbally, communicating with customers verbally. It's an art, folks. It's a definite art. Speaking with people, getting what you want, listening to what they want. It's a skill. It's a skill you have to learn. It's a skill not just for automotive, but every aspect of your life, quite honestly. I think we all know that. I teach during the day at a high school full time. And one of the things I always tell my students is this: think before you speak. And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people do not think before they speak. When we deal with people in automotive repair, my estimation, you'll have a good experience, but in my experience has been that most customers are great. Most people are great if given opportunity. However, every once in a while, you're going to have somebody who has a bad day or has had a bad experience at your shop or maybe with even you previously. So here's the thing, folks. You need to understand that most people really don't want to argue. Most people do not want to fight. So your goal should be simply to find out exactly what they want and how to accomplish that. So let's look at a couple things that we want to do this week. Uh, First, we're going to look at a few videos regarding, how to deal with difficult people. And these videos are with two gentlemen, Rick, and they'll talk about certain situations, how to handle them. What I'd like you to do, really for every week from here on out, is anywhere you go. I don't care if you're going to order fast food or any sort of financial transaction, even as minor as it is, mentally keep track of what took place. Notice that when you walked up, how the place looked. Notice how the person was dressed that you're dealing with, and how the crew is, how they're dressed. Look at things that signs and so on and so forth. Because remember, customers are going to be looking at your business, at you, and what goes on. So when you walk up to the customer in this exercise, you want to see how that transaction goes down. My parents always told me about manners, and I will tell you that manners go a long way. If you say yes and no, excuse me, pardon me, thank you, things of that nature seem so trivial for some, but for others, it's not trivial at all. I know for me personally, it is not trivial. Thank you, please, yes, and no are timeless. And make sure that when you speak to a customer, your manners are always right on top, right on par. So when you go do your exercise and you have this basic transaction, what I want you to do is bring it back and share it with the rest of us in class. So that's one of our weekly assignments, is to do what we call the customer transaction, the customer experience. You're going to be the customer, and let's see how that goes down. We're going to look at the videos this week. Also, I want you to write a script for people using the telephone. You'll be using the phone, but what about if you move up the ladder, you're going to be setting precedent about how you speak on the phone. I want you to prepare a script, and we're going to share that with the class. And then, of course, we'll have our discussion, and we'll talk about the various things that we need to discuss as far as customer interaction. Folks, I could only say so many things. It really is upon you, the individual. You have to understand that you have to be very, very detailed because this is automotive. You have to follow the law, but it's also you. You're going to bring you to the table. I want you to go ahead and be relaxed when you speak to people, be focused when you speak to people, and when they ask you a question, answer to the best of your ability. And if for some reason you cannot, make sure you're able to get the information and relay it back to them. So this week will be a week of talking, conversing, and how we deal with customers. I'm sure he'll do a phenomenal job. So anyway, let's get to work and let's see how this plays out. Thank you ever so much.